All right, guys, Fula coming to you with another commentary video. I'm gonna go over a couple of clips. You know, the reason why I do what I have to do, the reason why I do this is because like I'm out here. I see what's going on firsthand. I see how it's going down like firsthand. I know people who are actually going through it firsthand. And I just like, I'm just like as crazy as it sounds, I'm the guy who's observing what's going down. I'm the guy who's just looking, seeing how this whole thing is playing full, like how this whole thing is playing out. And I see what's happening out here. And if I don't like open my mouth and basically say anything about it to warn people like this, this is what's really going down out here, with these Western women. So you just gotta like really just know that this is what you're dealing with, and that it's better. If I didn't care for your well being, if I didn't care for your welfare, then I wouldn't even tell you what I'm telling you. I would just let you like go make the mistake. But I'm out here. I see how it's going down. You know what I mean? And so what's going on is crazy. But at the same time, it's going to work in your favor if you just stay down and just starve them of what they're looking for, and starve them of validation, just like starve them in general. I'm just going to go over a couple of clips to show you the dynamics of, what happens. But let's go. Now, the first clip I want to go over is I'm going to go over the men. On the men's side of things, what men are basically saying. And this just goes to show you like what most men have became because of like Western women, because of feminism and things like that. This is how most men have, like, what has happened to most men. But let's continue.
So you don't know how to cook and you don't know how to clean.
Yeah, we do know how to cook and clean. It's called survival tactics, you know what I mean? But if we're out in the world getting it all day, it doesn't hurt to have like a woman have the house clean that you're paying for, and have a home cooked meal with the food that you paid for. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? That's something that shows like a token of appreciation, especially if you're covering all the costs for living. So he's talking about this is a male feminist talking about men, you know.
And you still want to get married? How dare you? What is your wife gonna come home to a dirty house and no food?
The fact that he said, "What is your wife gonna come home to? A dirty house and no food." That just goes to show you that he's willing to take a subservient role, that he's not willing to take control of like of the household. That just goes to show you that he's probably going to be the type of dude that would be a yes man. And it's like, this is not cool. This is not really cool, man. Like, I see what's going on out here. I see what's happening out here, because I'm out here. You know what I mean? And so when you have guys like this, especially you have a lot of these in Los Angeles like this, then you have to like these guys right here, I can't really tell anything to, because he's already set in his ways. He's already bought into that. You could just see by his facial hair, he's bought into that. You could just tell by his tone that he's bought into that narrative. Okay. But let's go on to the next one. The sad thing is, and I'm going to say this, but women destroy their kids. Women, single mothers especially, destroy men. That's why it's like with me personally, um, like, knowing that I came to this country and things like that, my mom like saw my mom and my dad saw fit that I would be around like a family friend, since my uncle died, or I should say my uncle was killed. And, that family friend, he was a man, and he instilled like the principles that I live by, but also just like, being in South Central LA, like the first place I went to is like around some of the older homies. And, I, I didn't go around no women, that wasn't the first thing I did when I got here, when I first jumped off the porch, when I got here, it was just around the older heads and like just men. Like my thing wasn't ever to be around women, because I saw which way it was heading. But let's go ahead and look at what this guy went through.
Let's talk child support and parental alienation. I didn't meet my father until Father's Day last year.
And the sad thing is, it's like you can tell that like it's sad. This is a sad case that his mother like turned him out like this, and you almost want to feel bad for the guy because of what he's about to say, but you also just want to curse the mother out for like what she did, and how she turned him out like this. You know what I mean? And it's really unfortunately going down like this right now out here. Because I'm not trying to even be disrespectful, but if you didn't hear him talk, you may even think that he's a woman, unfortunately. But let's continue.
Found a mutual relative on 23andMe, and sure enough, he didn't hesitate to contact me.
So his father reached out, and what a lot of times these Western women will do, they'll spew this lie that that the man doesn't want to reach out to their kids, or the man doesn't want any part of their kids' lives. They'll spew that lie, and deep inside, it's really her that doesn't want you to be in the presence of your father. It's sad to say it, but I've said it in many videos before, and it's unfortunate, but it's true, because I see it play out firsthand. I've seen it play it out with many of my friends even. Okay, I've seen it with my own eyes that women will use their kids as collateral damage.
Talked about how our lives went, and he talked about how he tried to stay in our lives. And my mother, who I don't talk to anymore, made that damn near impossible.
So see, that's the thing that happens, like, what a lot of the time is that these mothers, they do things like that, and they actually, and the sad thing is, these mothers, they intentionally harm their kids like this, and then what happens is it actually backfires, and they end up with their kids just being mad at them completely and just shutting them out of their lives completely. Because I know a couple of dudes like that myself. Like, even some people from around the way, I'll ask them like, yo, how's your mom doing and stuff like that, and they'll tell me, yeah, I don't even talk to that woman anymore. You know what I mean? And again, these single mothers don't realize the damage that they're doing. They really don't realize it, or either they realize it and they don't care. That's the problem. Like, they don't really care about the damage they're doing. And one may say, well, Fula, you act like it's all women's fault. Well, it takes two to tango, so the people they lay down with, they have to be responsible as well. However, beta male simps also have to be responsible too, because they've put these women on a pedestal. When you call the black woman God and do things like that, you're putting her on a pedestal that she doesn't deserve at all. You know, when you confide to her feminism, then you're gonna be. This is what you're looking at. You know, this is what's gonna happen, and this is something that you shouldn't confide in. You know, but many do it, unfortunately.
She demanded $1,800 a month, while my dad couldn't even make payments on his home.
So you have a case that, like, and women do this, they hit you when you're down. You know, a Western woman, they'll hit you when you're down. She was probably like just trying to suck this man dry. And something tells me that the house that she got, or the house that he got, was probably foreclosed upon because of the simple fact that she was sucking him dry.
He could barely take care of my brothers. He would have fought for me.
Yeah, and again, like, I think he probably thought that this was a solid woman, and that's why he decided to lay down and have kids with her. But unfortunately, the inevitable unfolded over time, and you know, the truth came out, unfortunately, when it was too late.
But obviously, he couldn't afford the lawyers, and he showed me all of the paperwork to show for it. All of it. Don't judge a man by his circumstances.
So yeah, the thing is, women will judge a man by the circumstances. Like, if a man is trying to reach for something bigger than like bigger than normal, what happens is that a woman's gonna judge that man. I'll give you a perfect example. Like, and this happened recently. You know, I said that, like, I was talking on the phone and stuff like that, and I said, yeah, it's kind of difficult, like, getting things to Cuba because of the simple fact of the blockade and stuff like that and what's going on. And this Western woman looked at me very stupidly and stuff like that, and looked at me side-eyed because I said that. You know what I mean? And she wouldn't understand anything about that, because the Western woman is just me. And I'm going to show you that me mentality in the next clips, basically. Let me see.
Fellas, a quick tip.
So here's another guy, and here's a simp guy. And so this guy has compromised his I guess you can say he's compromised his manhood just to please his woman. And this just goes to show you too, it's not just like black women. It's all Western women. It's the white ones, it's the Latin ones, and it's the Asian ones who are putting their man through the ringer and bought into what was sold to them. It's not just white or black women who do this, you know. So here's an Asian guy. He says, when your girl is mad at you. But let's continue.
If your girlfriend's mad at you, this is what you gotta do. I got her favorite food, and it's some sushi. You want to present it like this. Alright, she's coming home soon. Hey, welcome home. Hey, guess what? Hey, check. I got a sushi. Sushi? Yeah, right? You like the sushi? Can you? Fellas,
So in that video, I guess it got cut off. Basically, what happened is that he gave her the sushi, and then he asked for a kiss, and then she said, "No, you're still a douche." So this guy has tried to cater to her feelings only to get nothing in return. And so that's what I'm saying. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I hate to really say this, but this is the words that came from the Nelado, alayhi salatu salam. And let me try to
Beat my father until Father's Day.
let me try to research it. What was actually said about Nelado, alayhi salatu salam. And I hate to say this, but this is coming from a divine, a divine like source. But let's go ahead and look at it. I'm gonna look for it. All right. So, okay. So, Nelado, alayhi salatu salam, he said, I was shown hell. I saw that most of its inhabitants were ungrateful women. The Prophet was asked, were they ungrateful to Allah? He replied, he replied, they were ungrateful to their husbands and for the favors and the good done to them. If you show benevolence to one of them and then she sees something in you not to her liking, she will say, I have never seen any good in you. So that actually played out in that last clip that I showed you. You know what I mean? That basically you can do a lot of things for these women, but then the moment that you mess up or the moment that you don't do anything to their liking, they'll act like you didn't even do it. Also, what the interpretation of this hadith is that one scholar said that these women are the women of Jahiliyyah. And what Jahiliyyah means is ignorance. And no disrespect, but Western women are very ignorant. No disrespect to them, but it is what it is. So let's look at the characteristics of these women. They said these women will habitually curse, swear, and backbite. And so the thing is, as well, you have to understand that women outnumber men as well. You know what I mean? And so that's another thing that we have to take into consideration, right? And so, but Nelado, alayhi salatu salam, he's not talking about the traditional woman who's subservient to her husband and who stays on code for her husband. He's talking about the women that I'm showing you right now. But let's look at another clip. Okay. So here's one who doesn't have any shame in riding the cock carousel. And the last clip I'll show is a clip that will show that there's still hope left.
Just with him, I got nothing to do, and I'm just.
So there she was with one guy, right? But you have to listen to the song in the background to understand what she's doing, There's
with him. I got nothing to do. And I'm just with him. I got nothing.
and now this guy is probably unknowingly like spending his resources on someone who's riding the cock carousel. You know, he probably doesn't even know what he probably doesn't even know what he's into. He probably thinks that, you know, he's the only one who is actually, you know, actually dealing with her.
And I'm just
There's another guy right here too. Like all of these guys that we see, they probably believe that they're the only ones dealing with her. And it's not, you know. She even put on her page right now. I'm reading the letters on this. She said, Queen of not making it past the talking stage. So she's actually proud that she doesn't even take these men serious. You know, she's proud that she's just, again, going around using these men for resources, using these men for her personal gain. She's happy about that, you know. This is something that she prides herself on.
with him. I got nothing to do. And I'm just with him. I got nothing to do. Just with him.
I mean, look at how evil she looks even, you know. This is sad, you know, this is a sad state of affairs, you know. Let's look at a Bonquisha who thinks that like guys, let's listen to how shallow she is.
It's one thing I can't believe, and that's how have the nerves to slide in your DMs, but then have the audacity to be ugly as fuck.
So right away, you know not to deal with this woman at all. You know to run to you know that the first thing you have to do is run in the opposite direction. Okay? Because what she's looking for is she's looking for the 6 foot, the 6-pack, and the 6 figures. And you might honestly be looking for someone who you think is attractive and someone you want to date. And she's looking for, this type of woman is looking for an NBA player. This type of woman is looking for a entertainer of that sort. She feels like she's entitled to that, you know, and her herself doesn't look even all that good looking herself, you know. But this is what she's been told. She's been told she's a queen. She's been told she's a goddess and everything like that. But let's look at what else she has to say. I think this is the same woman.
I just think it's funny how the tables have turned. It used to be men with such high standards of what they wanted in a woman, but
Nah, you know, I honestly, like, men haven't really had wanting high standards for a woman. Like mostly men have just asked for the bare necessities. Cook, clean, give us sex, give us peace, and we're good, you know. Like we don't really ask for much, you know what I mean? Like when it comes down to it, that's pretty much all we want. We just want peace, tranquility, good food, cooperation, someone who's gonna add to our ambition already. If we are striving for more or going for more, someone who's gonna add to that, someone who's gonna give their insight and give good ideas. You know what I mean? That's what we want. We don't want like that much. So I definitely disagree with what she's saying.
plot twist, these women are demanding more, no longer accepting the bare minimum, no longer accepting bottom of the barrel.
So what she is talking about is that, so for example, you may have a woman who's like Miss Independent. I got my own job. I went to school. I did this. I did that. And I got my own stuff. So basically, that guy is going to have to basically be like a superhero in order to even have a chance at even talking to her, even having a chance to even communicate with her, right? Or it's the opposite, whereas, how should I put it? Trying to think of a way that to like really put it. Shoot. There's that extreme, but then there's the other extreme where she'll get so desperate that she like where that won't even matter. You know what I mean? That won't even matter. And she'll end up getting pregnant by like a loser because of the simple fact of the high standards in which she put on men. And then all of a sudden, and any man that comes along, and she's going to be on the next thing smoking towards that man because of the simple fact that the high standards that she's looking for, the 007 type dude that she's looking for, is simply not available to her. And believe it or not, you know, these, especially these Western women, because they become so masculine, they have like hypersexual urges, urges, I should say.
We have standards now, and these men are hurt by it.
We're not hurt by it. We're just like surprised that, you're asking for things. You're asking for things and not bringing anything to the table. That's what we're really kind of surprised at. You're asking for all these things, but yet you're not bringing anything to the table. So that's more or less what we're surprised about. And I just think that you need to like reevaluate yourself. But I have two more clips I want to go into. And this just goes to show you how women will use a kid as collateral with this next clip that I'm about to show. Now, there's a truth in every joke. There's a truth in every joke. And so this woman is telling a truth about the joke. Okay? But let's go ahead and listen.
Hi, is this the Office of Support a Child? Hi, listen, I just called my kid's dad's phone and he didn't answer. Can you suspend his license?
They will do things like that, okay? They will do this. I've seen it played out in front of my very eyes. That's why you should not lay with these women, okay? I know it's hard, trust me. I'm going through it myself. But I know what's at stake, man. Like, because the moment, let's say if I get like a Western woman pregnant or something like that, the Bilal Mendalik, then I know what's at stake. I know my resources going to Africa, my resources going to the Caribbean, that stops. That there's a stint that stands still because I have a seed to worry about. So I can't do that. You know what I mean? I gotta practice things that like deter the natural urges, and that's just the reality of it, because the bigger picture matters more to me than, just getting a quick nut off. You know what I mean? That's the thing. But let's listen to what she says.
Hi, child support? Listen, my baby daddy is not supporting his kids. Do you think you can retch him for me? Great. Hi, support a child? Yes, I'll hold. Hi, yes, no worries. Listen, my baby grandma's son, he sells drugs, if you want to look into that.
They'll do things like that. These women will do things like that. You know, the reason why I say this is because, like, I'm front line with this. You know, I'm really front line with this. Like, I know it sounds bad, but as I said, like, you know, and I know I'm gonna sound bad with saying this, but you know, once I jumped off the porch when it came to this like content and stuff like that, I realized that I had no choice, but you have to put Western women in their place. Like I'm not gonna even lie to you. There was this one Western woman the other day, and it kind of like drove it. I went from 0 to 60 in like a matter of seconds, and you know she was like doing her little thing, and then you know I just straight out said, you know, I straight out called her a bitch. You know, I didn't hold back, and her husband was there too. And I said to her husband, you need to learn how to control your wife. You know, you can't be letting your wife like talk reckless like this, because not all guys are like you. You know, I had to say that because this is what society has allowed, you know. And so, how should I put this? You know, I was talking to my uncle this morning because he knows how I rock and stuff like that. And he said, you know, anything that's going to make a Western woman upset, you know, anything that's going to make a Western woman go against you because you are a traditional African, this is what you signed up for when you do things like this, when you do this content. You know, this is what's available to you. So I had to accept that, you know what I mean? And this just goes to show you how disgusting these women are, and how they'll use kids, innocent kids, for their means. But let's go.
Respectfully. Hi, supportive children. Listen, my baby daddy, he's taking care of his girlfriend's kids, not mine's own. Hi, child support. Listen, my kid's pappy, I saw him at the fair. He had on Gucci slides. He has money. If you
see, even like when a kid gets treated, when the dad treats his kid to maybe something nice, so I wouldn't recommend Gucci or anything like that, but when a kid gets treated to something like decent, the bitter mom even has a problem with that, unfortunately, you know. And what happens too, and this is what these Western women don't realize, is that when they do this to the kid grows up mad, the kid grows up angry at her. You know, and because what's going to happen is the kid's going to get older and realize that either, number one, his mom turned him into her husband, or if it's a girl, her mom turned her into her friend. And now, unfortunately, when before like unknown to the girl, her mom is already looking at her as competition, you know. So that's why she's, instead of telling her, you know, traditional values and good moral ethics, she turns her into, she in essence turns her into her, right? But let's continue.
want to send him out another court date? Hi, support children. Listen, the donor I used to have a baby. How can I get a refund? Hi.
You see how crazy this is?
Support, my baby daddy, his mom did the PPP loan, if you want to call over there.
So this just goes to show you that she'll joke around, but she'll tell you what she's capable of in that joke. That's where I'm getting at with that. Now let's look at this last clip, and this lets you know there's still hope. This lets you know that that what's being done, that the youth are like the youth are catching on. Even the little youth are catching on. So there is hope. There is something going on. Like, I truly believe that with this, like with this next clip, that this just shows that there is going to be a shift, and that the next generation is going to catch on to the bullshit that these women are doing. But let's go ahead and listen to it.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring.
You were nice until he married you, and then you showed your true colors.
So there you have it. This makes me happy, because it goes to show you that there is hope. That even the young generation, they're very intelligent. They're very intelligent. And if they're steered the right way, if they hear the right things, they're going to say and do the right things. It's just a matter of them hearing it more and more and more. And the more they hear it, the more they'll be programmed with it.
Well, shit.
The more they'll be programmed with those things. So that's why when I get my traditional woman and I settle down and inshallah I have kids, I'm going to have to do what my dad did. What my dad did is, like, my dad every day, may Allah have mercy on him, is that he woke me up in the morning and he instilled certain things in me. He said, okay, this is what has to be done. I want you to read this, because you got to understand, my dad was, at first, my dad, before he got involved in being frontline with weapons and stuff like that against the Portuguese, the first thing he was just your typical agriculturalist / herder. Like, that was just what he did. So when he got recruited, and when he joined the struggle, like, he learned how to read and stuff like that, and he learned literacy, and he gave the party's handbook to me, and I had to read that every day. He drilled the principles in me every single day, and so those principles lasted and resonated with me. So that's what we have to do with our kids today, because it's working. We have to sit our kids down and let them know, okay, integrity, morality, righteousness, hard work, being aware of the booby traps, especially for our youth, our young men. This is something we have to do as fathers, and that's why it's important to have a traditional mother who's gonna balance that out and not go against what you're doing. That's why it's very, very, very crucial that you don't have a feminist wife. Okay? You must not have that, because then she's gonna put ideas in his head which go against your ideas, more or less so. So I'm just showing you these clips to show you this is what it's becoming right now. And I'm just gonna say again, I'm out here. I see what's going on. For business sake, I gotta go to Melrose. I gotta go to Santa Monica. I gotta go sometimes to Beverly Hills. I gotta go to Brentwood. And I see everything playing out that you see in these videos every single day. Okay? I see it with my own eyes.
I don't cook.
All I really have to do is go outside right now. Right now it's about 6:30 in the morning here. I can go outside right now and I can show you guys a single woman walking her dog, or walking her dogs, who bought into the concepts of these women. I can do it right now as we speak. So my ending message is, for my guys, and this message is for my guys, because if I didn't say what I'm saying, I wouldn't care about you. But again, I want to see my brother win too. You know, my message to the guys is just, stay on code. Stay 10 toes down, and don't, and really just leave these Western women alone. I was surprised to hear that Lolo Jones, she's like 38 years old, and she has given up on dating. Now, I wonder why she's given up on dating. She probably has unrealistic standards, because you got to know that she's a multiple Olympian. She has, she has, I think 2 Olympics in hurdles, and then she has Winter Olympics in bobsledding. So with that being said, it's like she probably holds that over guys' head so much. And I'm surprised that she's still, single, because here's a mixed woman who was being touted as like, just in essence, like when you look in the early 2000s, they made this woman out to be a sex symbol, and what have you. But now she's already hit the wall, and like, no guy's gonna want that. It's already too late. And again, it's sad it's gotten to this point, but it is what it is. So you guys, all I gotta say is like, either you get on code, and you get like, you get hip to what's going on, or you may fall by the wayside, and you may end up like one of the male feminists that I showed y'all. And as for the Western woman, all I gotta say is shame on you guys, for doing this. Like, shame on you for like actually like leading to this war, like, because us as guys, we didn't want this war, but you guys wanted it. And so we had to step up and be front line with it. And so you guys, you're not gonna, thing is, it's already too late, I think, for you guys to recognize the errors you made. And again, it's gonna end up benefiting us more as men than it is gonna be benefiting you guys as women. So with that being said, I'm off until the next one. I think my next video is going to be on some African affairs that went down. And other than that, Fool is signing out. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Njadama.